Welcome to episode 12. It's this 12.
This is
12
12.
of the Almost Essential podcast. All right. I'm Sal. Okay. And this is Matt. And we're chilling. Okay. We're going to talk about some stuff. It's going to be tech stuff. And this is why you never let me do intros.
No, that was great.
All right.
That was awesome.
Okay. All right.
I think I want to
start
with, because I used to work in IT, and this is a big peeving point of mine. I mention a lot of things. But this one is one of those things that you mentioned at the opening of the show and then you never mention again because it's not worth talking about for more than 10 seconds.
Okay.
Fucking printers that won't scan because they're out of ink. Canon's getting sued, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is disgusting.
I don't know of any ladies that get super worked up about printers and them not working, but I'm
anyone
sure there's
who owns a
multiple out
printer
there.
that has a scanner.
They've probably been this pissed.
This is actually just nightmare fuel. Like, that's
I'm out of yellow
bad.
ink. I won't print black and white images.
It wasn't just
this
scanning,
is a whole.
There's another feature. Like, all features on it are disabled if you're out of ink.
Yeah. You couldn't do faxes either.
My god! Like why?
You can't. Oh, your fax machine ran out. It can't. No, you can't send a fax now, guys. You're out of ink. In 2021, your faxes are powered by ink if you own a Canon. Okay.
Absolutely insane.
That's about that. And then on this episode, I'm gonna do these random things. This for the podcast. I've had a couple ideas. I'm gonna do like random things, and so the first time I do it, it'll be like whatever, and the rest of and I'll have a number for it. So I'm gonna do like this week on episode number 1 of how to tell if you're a boomer or not, and then for the rest of the time, the episode numbers are meaningless and they're gonna be segments, whatever. How to tell if you're a boomer.
69?
Episode 69 of how to tell if you're a boomer. Governor wants to prosecute a journalist for right-clicking a government website and thinks it's hacking because you clicked F12. Like, okay, how to tell if you're a boomer, episode 69.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, come on. Like, this is classic. Like, you left the information exposed and hidden on the website, and the journalist right-clicked the page. And you're like, oh, shit.
You deserve anything happens to you.
I should report this. And then they're like, this guy's hacking. You know, that guy is the guy who watches those hacking movies like The Matrix and thinks that's just like how it's done.
Oh, you could just enhance
like,
3 pixels.
Like, where's my green text? Did you see The Matrix, Neo? Oh my god, that's pathetic.
Yeah. Okay, so those about it for those. I didn't actually read much of this one. This was just sent to me a little while ago. I'm not sure how much there is to actually discuss on this. Facebook plans to change its name as part of the company rebranding. So we were the Facebook and now we're Facebook. So what are we going to be now? Just Face?
Oh, no. Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
These
fuckers realize the ship has a hole in it. And it's
just
going
one hole?
down. It's got... we're talking like they hit an iceberg. And they're fucking going down. And in a last-ditch effort, they've decided to paint the boat and hope that it will somehow save them from catastrophe. But this shit, yeah, of course, like, Facebook is synonymous with evil. Like, if I was like, you're such a Facebook doer, like, that would be, like, worse than being evil, you know? The only thing worse than being a Satanist is being a Facebook employee, you know? That is the kind of fucking vitriol that people have for these fucking people, because, man, like, they've pushed, like, every single moral boundary that they can. Like, it's just profits over everything, pushing every algorithm in a way that would, like, harm society the most, but get them the most ad dollars. Bro, you go to your Facebook feed, and it's, like, 90% ads and news, and, like, 10% your fucking friends. Like, their own products are not even like aren't even a tenth as bad as Facebook is. Like, of course they need to rebrand it, but it's not gonna help. It's a doomed product. Yeah. Jeremy, real talk though. Facebook is a fantastic. Yeah, imagine, like what do you fucking? That name is great. It's fantastic. It's the name of a generation, pretty much.
The Facebook
Right?
generation is a thing because,
Yeah, like 12,
It's-
13, 14 years now. But it's doomed because these guys are idiots. Like, there's like, eventually you sell your reputation so bad that the money has to come down. Has to.
we're at that point where we fucked
Yeah.
everything to hell and back. And when the ship does sink eventually, whenever that finally does, it's not just going to take down Facebook. At this point, people are going to realize, oh, wait, Instagram, WhatsApp, like there's a whole bunch of other things that are just going to go with it. It's like going to be a tsunami.
No, I don't think
Like,
so.
it's-
I think that they've
Oculus Rift.
listen. They've effectively
There's the
Googled
theory
themselves.
that we can split everything up and everything will be fine because then we'll separate everything into different companies. So Alphabet is not recognized as Google because Google's separate from Alphabet.
Right.
That's
Dude,
what they're doing
when
here
they did
with
the
the name
delete
change. You're
Facebook
thinking?
thing, when they did the delete Facebook thing, where was the delete WhatsApp? Where was the delete Instagram? Where was the delete Snapchat? No, people don't. Most people don't know that those are Facebook products. They don't know. They know Facebook is bad. They know Facebook is used by boomers.
But they don't
They
think
don't-
Instagram is evil.
They just don't realize. And quite
'Cause-
fucking frankly, is Instagram really that evil? Like, think about the way Instagram is organized. You basically, when you start out, you can immediately isolate to friends only. Like, and you get like one suggested post per like 10 posts.
The problem,
It's like nowhere near as bad.
I understand your point, but
It's like, how do
Problem
you
is,
relate them? Because if I'm an
Inst-
Insta user and a Facebook user, one of them looks like a dumpster fire, and the other one is a nicely presented app. Like, you wouldn't think the same company made both.
the
Right?
thing is, if you use Instagram and Facebook, the direct messaging system,
Yeah.
they're combining it. Like,
Yeah.
the UI is becoming
well, because
one.
listen, they've seen
They're
an
making-
iceberg.
They're
like,
making.
Look,
They're trying to
this is an
pull it
iceberg,
together.
and this is Instagram.
So how much of a
Okay.
time?
They're like, oh, yes, found it. Like, they have to. You know, they were gonna sail right by it, but they're like, oh no, we have to actually take a left here. Like,
We can't miss our
yeah.
stop.
yeah, we can't. I have to hit every iceberg that's in this ocean.
We're going for a completion rate here.
100% route. Give me 108%. I'm gonna need to hit this iceberg twice. Yeah.
But
But
my
no,
thing
like-
is, like, I think there's a ticking time bomb on a little bit of it. Just maybe, because I understand your point and it's very valid. But what I'm saying is, like, when I see them trying to pull the UI together and make them similar, I'm like, okay, eventually will people realize that it's the same products, it's the same company? When Facebook's back-end marketing decisions and how they develop a product start slowly influencing how Instagram and new features on Instagram are developed, and when the UI starts looking very, very similar and almost like identical, like,
I'm
And
gonna
you're like-
5,000 IQ you here. You ready?
I think I know what
So
you're
the
gonna
re-
say, but like,
the reason
give
that
it to
they're
me.
doing Messenger integration is because they're trying to onboard their Facebook people into Instagram because they know Facebook is doomed. So they're trying to link them with the only service that isn't actually functionally broken. Messenger is still a pure service. It does one job, and it does not try and sell you snake oil. It is a messenger. It does it well, and it doesn't do anything else. So they're trying to get people to merge their Facebook and Instagram accounts, so that way, when Facebook inevitably kicks the fucking bucket, everyone's already on Instagram. And they didn't even realize. All their messages are still there. I think that's what they're doing. I think they realize that. They're not trying to like fucking get you to sign up for both or merge your accounts. No. They're linking them with the only thing that is actually useful. That's what I think it is.
You know what? I can't disprove you.
I think that's what it is.
I-
Because, like, otherwise they just merge them, but they don't want to do that. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to actually just get you to use the messenger. So that way, when they're like, hey, try out this app, your messages sync. Like they can try and onboard people from.
Hey, all your stuff's
Facebook.
already
Like,
here, guys. Come on,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hop on
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Oh, the UI, it's similar. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I think that they know that
Maybe-
Facebook is a burning cesspool, man. Like I think
Okay.
you can see it from 20 million miles away, and I don't know how you save it, because the only way to save it is to lose money.
Problem is
right?
they're not losing money.
No. Like
they can't
you
stop
have to-
making money. Like
if you're making $20 million a year, and every year you're making $20 million a year, like on top, like you're making 20 million, you have a net surplus, and you go to the shareholders and you're like, hey, we're making 20 mil. But you're like, listen, we need to be a little bit more moral. So now we're going to make $18 million a year. They're going to be like, fuck you.
Oh, fuck you.
Like, yeah, exactly. Keep that 2 mil. So in order to back up and undo some of the shit that they've done, they will have to lose money, because what they've done is like hook people into an impossible to leave. Like so many people are just addicted to rabbit holes on Facebook, and they just get served ads over and over and over and over again. There's like infinite money printers. So they need to leave. They need to. You're telling them that they need to stop making more money. Like it's just not gonna fucking happen.
remember when Google was the people we had to say like their catchphrase was "Don't be evil."
Google was smart, man. They were like, listen, if
hey.
we just chill here, they like looked at Facebook and they were like, look, if we just chill on the evil,
We're gonna get
those guys
surpassed,
are moving
and then they're
way
gonna take all the
faster than
heat. Exactly.
They're gonna take it for sure. Just watch them zoom past, and
It's
everyone
like-
will forget about us.
It's like on the
and we'll look-
it's like on the app when you're driving and you see like speed trap ahead and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm like 10 miles over the speed limit, and you look in your rearview mirror and there's a guy and he's just like on your ass and you're like,
you pull
I'm gonna
in
go like
behind
3
him?
miles slower, and then like here comes speed trap, got him. And then
yeah,
you're-
and then you just fucking fall. You tail him.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same speed, but he's in front.
yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They're just like, look, we're gonna just stay out of the headlines and chill real hard. We'll
such a
sell
good
some
analogy.
phones. We'll sell some fucking phones. What's evil about a phone? Don't worry about it. What's evil about a phone? It's a Pixel. It looks really cool. It's got a big fat notch.
We'll
worry
keep
about
making
it.
them. And you know what? When it doesn't have a notch, it'll be better than Apple's, and people like us more. And hey, let's make 6 of those.
Exactly. That is what we're discussing today. So,
Hey. How about that transition, though, huh? So
yeah.
the analogy wasn't planned. The transition was thought up on the fly. So cool feature about some of
Not
this
bad.
stuff is some people are aware and some people aren't aware of Google Fi, which is their like plan to be, hey, do you want to pay your cell phone bill through Google? And it'll use like wireless Wi-Fi connection points and map you in predominantly and try to map you into, hey, you only have to pay Google a certain flat rate, and then we'll take care of all your cell phone needs, basically. Oh,
So
here's also Google Premium, and we'll bundle this all together under one bill.
Oh, you gotta explain Google Fi
There's-
to me. So is it like they have hubs set up in cities and stuff? So like, are they becoming a network provider, or are they leeching off of other networks? Like, how does this work? Because like, I don't understand.
So let's look up what this is specifically so I can explain it
Yeah.
with my correct eloquency without missing some of the details. Okay, so they have a bunch of networks and cell phone stuff. Do you know how the back end of like this? I need to back up. You know how like cell phones work, where if you go up to a Verizon tower, it's a Verizon tower. If you go up to a T-Mobile tower, it's a T-Mobile tower. If you sign
Yeah.
up for, let's say, U.S. Cellular or one of those plans that you see in the store,
Mm.
and they're like, hey, here's a phone, you get limited amount of data, and we're using, and they'll use a tagline from the nation's largest network or the nation's fastest network. They'll use a tag on those. So what those little cards or prepaid phones are doing is everybody's just piggybacking and riding on the networks that AT&T and Verizon own already, a lot of this. So you're buying that type of thing. When Google is
so they are
slowly rolling out their
piggybacking
own
off of-
stuff, it's a mixture of they're rolling out their own stuff and piggybacking off of other stuff, and predominantly trying to use Wi-Fi connections for phone calls as much as possible whenever you're in those zones. So it's like this
Yeah.
whole project type of thing that they're working on. Now, I don't have all the details 100% correct on that. But so what coming out with this Google Pixel 6 is it's launching on October 19th with the new Tensor chip, and it's got neat stuff. One of the things that it had on here was interesting was the CPU core, the die, has middle cores. Like the new Apple we're going to talk about has fast cores, and then it has like two slow cores. This one's got like 2 slow cores, and then 2 medium cores, and then high efficiency, high power, fast cores. So that was kind of interesting to see. This was making waves on Twitter a little bit because some of the software that's bundled with the camera and everything, I think it was this one.
It's finally open. So like the camera app on Google phones used to be like you only got the really sick camera processing if you were using the camera app, but now it's open to all apps, which is really good because they have a very good camera.
They do, and the processing is quite significant, and it's got a better chip on there for camera processing. And one of the things that was making waves on Twitter and other places was that the probably phrase this to not trigger Google's algorithm, something or other. The image processing and detection for people that weren't as white as a wall was sometimes less than desired efficiency.
Yeah, this has been a photography problem for a long time.
Yes, this is just physics. But apparently, this is doing a lot to actually improve the detection of everybody who has an entity.
I think it has this really sick feature where you can like insert motion blur into like videos and stuff as well. So like they've got really good like person identification. So I'm not surprised they managed to get the processing down.
They also have
skin colors.
They also have like post processing where if you want to delete something in the background, you just blur it over, and like the Photoshop effect, you just delete things if you want.
For idiots.
Yeah,
just get that out of here.
It's like grandma wants to delete the cat in the picture of the dog or whatever it is. It's like grandma would for just squiggle on it till it's gone and it disappears.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. I laughed at that.
Yeah, the video footage of that was pretty funny. Yeah. And then we have let's see, Samsung announced a great big event on the 20th, which is like I think the day after Apple had theirs, day before, I forget which. In a week. And they unpacked some stuff. It wasn't like terribly shocking or interesting stuff, but some of it was slightly interesting. There's a new Galaxy Z Flip. I don't think this is something
listen, if I were a youngster, the Z Flip is 100% the phone I buy.
This is the razor for
that
the
shit is
modern
sick.
kids.
It's sick. Oh my god, if I was a fucking teenager, man, that shit looks so sick. And it's like it's not like affordable, but like with like a plan and shit, like it's as much as any other flagship. Like it's actually that's the first readily available and affordable folding phone. And it looks fucking baller. I would actually still love to get my hands on one, cuz like that there's something you said with the mechanical element of like flipping a phone open. It's very nice.
It is. And I'd rather, if I did ever own a phone that was a flip phone had a screen that had a crease in it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know about how you use phones a lot, but for me and my personal preference of it, I would much rather it be down the center like this and horizontally instead of vertically. I would rather have it like fold like this than fold the other way is what I'm saying. I would
like
rather
fold this way?
Yeah, I would rather this than the other way.
So have the crease. Yeah.
If I have to have a crease in the future and I need a phablet to fit in my pocket, I'd rather do this.
Well, I mean, Jeremy has one. He has like a Z Fold 3, and he's saying that like it's actually really hard to notice. If you're moving the phone, like if you're chilling with content, you're not going to see it really. But if you're moving the phone, like you're going to see it reflect. But it's quite good, I think. I think it looks worse if you don't have it in hand. Like I need to get it in hand. I should probably just try one just to be.
I went to the Verizon store like 2 weeks ago and held some of the ones that open like this, and just from the wear and tear that they got in the store there, I was like, this would trigger the fuck out of me. Maybe I'll get over that at some point, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Like, you'd have to like actually take one home and like use it.
Yeah.
Because like if you're in the store like looking at it and like, this crease is like kind of it's different from just like forgetting that the crease exists. You know, it's not the same.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Like there are all sorts of things like that if you're like looking for them, it's bad. But then really like in use when you've got content up, like is it really gonna bother you? Yeah.
For me, most things for that is historically been yes, which is why I'm like skeptical of it.
Yeah.
So
If you're somebody who's
historically,
like very particular, then
right,
this might be a skip generation or two.
right.
It's fine.
Now, if the
Yeah.
people are not particular, okay, yeah, I 100% go, yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into the big Mac stuff, I guess the last thing meme news worthy was everybody knows screens have blue light pollution on them, but what could have been an awesome launch for what I think is actually a very good idea of making skincare and in production, I don't know, makeup line for people who are gamers.
Oh, this is that like crazy.
So
I
Valkyrie,
I read the headline, so you gotta explain this to me.
so Valkyrie founded a company that makes skincare products. It's called Reflect, and I don't know what to tell you. The internet blew up of like, hey, so this doesn't actually work, and like if you spent like 30 hours in front of a screen with blue light protection, it's the same as 1 day or 1 minute on a sunny day. It's like the same amount of damage, so like you can't actually protect yourself from any of this. But there's a scientific like, yes, blue light is slightly harmful, but this is not enough to protect you from that. Like it's been all over the place, and people have just been been a whole public PR nightmare for, I'm sure, for her.
So did she rescind it?
So I think the tweet that got deleted by her was like, I've been told I need to, oh yeah, it's gone. So there was a tweet that was, I've been told not to talk about this, I'll talk about it tomorrow or something. So there's a public PR response coming at some point, I think.
But it's still up, so she's gonna stand by it.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, this is
I mean, listen, man,
like,
like
yeah.
people peddle a metric fuck ton of snake oil. Like this, what is this? Like this is the same as like a healing crystal. Like,
I mean,
you know,
it's way better than eggs that Gwyneth Paltrow wants you to shove.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another. Like, listen. If the content creator isn't actively using the thing all the time, like, I don't know.
Here's the thing. Okay, this is my personal take on this. It doesn't actually fucking matter. If you want to use the product and you like to support the creator, it doesn't matter what it's protecting you from or against if you don't actually have a problem with it. And it like if you're buying it and you feel like it helps you, buy Shungite. If it's to support your creator, great. Okay, maybe not Shungite, but like if it still is makeup that works and works just fine for all the other purposes, it's still makeup that works. I don't give a fuck. That's my 2 cents on that. Great. Is actually making skincare lineup and marketing it towards gamers. Like YouTube's been doing this forever, so
there is a greater narrative. It's kind of like the cryptocurrency shit. Like influencers kind of abusing their parasocial relationships and followers to like buy some shit that's crap because they know that
this isn't cryptocurrency though. Like you get a physical item for your
product. It's not, but
product.
it's like a product that doesn't really do anything.
No, here's my thing. It does something. The makeup all works. It works just fine.
Just whether or not it's
but
valid,
the one feature about blue light, okay, if we take that one feature off the table,
then it's
like
absolutely fine.
That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. If it's if it does the thing, like listen, like even if it is a useless thing, if it does the useless thing that it says it's gonna do, I don't know why anyone's upset. Like, if you bought it because you thought that was important, whose fault is that? Like, I don't know. It just feels like
some people a little bit upset about it because it's slight marketing stuff, whatever. Sure.
Well, okay, because the research isn't like I read that like the research isn't conclusive, and I don't know.
It's a whole I think we spent enough time on that. Anything else?
I think that I just agree. If I agree with you that if the makeup does the thing that it says it's gonna do, like
Disclaimer: I'm not female. I haven't used makeup much, if ever, so
yeah,
I
but like
can't
if it
100% say it's
actually
good.
reduces the amount of blue light exposure or whatever, like whether or not it's valid, like I don't understand why that would be. Like she's not saying that it's like gonna save your life. She just says that it filters out blue light, and it does that. So like, I mean, we're good, right? No,
Sure, I think
I
so.
don't see why we wouldn't be good.
I don't have a problem with it. I was giggling at Jeremy in the chat. Is there blue hair protective makeup? Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Harassment from yes, I have blue hair. Big whoop. Okay, so Apple did a whole bunch of stuff. They announced new AirPods. They announced 2 new MacBooks and a music plan. I want to start with the music plan, then we'll go on the laptops.
The music plan is a very, very interesting thing.
Interesting is a good word for this because
it is a very interesting thing.
Let's pay $5 a month to only access music through the ability to talk.
Yes, but it is half as expensive as a regular Apple Music sub, and I think less than half as expensive as a regular Spotify sub. So, like, there will be an entire generation of kids who have very little money to spend, who have this fucking voice plan, and will only know how to play music through asking Siri to play music for them.
They're doing this very on purpose. A, to train
100%.
the current existing living beings to interact with the technology the way they want, and the future existing beings who have yet to be born, training them just like you said. Like,
yeah.
It slightly feels like manipulation, but like it's their business. I can't stop them.
Yeah,
manipulation
I don't really
on like
understand.
Okay, manipulation's a wrong. Hang on, that's a bad word.
The question is this: is it really like? Is it the case that you using Siri to train Siri, like you using Siri will train Siri, which will give them value?
No.
That's how they're making.
No. I'm saying it's training the humans.
No. I don't think that's why they're doing it at all. But maybe.
I think so.
But,
that's my.
So we have to think of it as a value proposition. So let's say that Apple's in the math. $9.99 is the dollar amount with which somebody should have access to all of their music, their catalog. Now, here is a subscription that offers all the same things for $5 less. Now, is it the fact that is it that the music sub is actually worth like $3.99? Or is it that the data that you're giving them by using Siri is making up for that $5? Because somewhere there $5 per person has to get made up. They're not giving you that shit for free. Somewhere they're making that $5 back.
Can I go? Now, can I have my 5 head moment?
People complain.
Finish. I have a 5 head moment.
Well, people complain a lot about Siri and about how it responds and that it's not as good as Google Assistant. And because of that, not a lot of people use Siri. Like, I only use it to turn off like the lights in my house or something. Like, very basic shit. And it could be that because they are kind of like, stuck where it's bad and no one wants to use it. Yeah, reminders and timers, right? So if they're stuck there and no one wants to use it and they need to train it, then this could be a way to incentivize people to do that. But that $5 is like, it's tough to make up.
Okay, so
give me the 5 head.
So you know how earlier you went on your like Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so this is my thing on this.
Okay, go ahead.
They want more people to use Siri. Yes, no.
Yes. I want people to use Siri. They want people to use Siri because otherwise it's being devved for no reason.
Yes, and they want to push interaction through this. A lot of the ways that we try to get humans to adapt or change their behavior is like trying to modify their behavior. You could make a lot of money by being the first person at the top of a Google search result. Well, imagine how much money you're making if you're planning 5 head 10 years in the future and thinking about, hey, if I'm that number one Google voice result, that number one voice result for my thing, I want people to be used to using Siri. I want them to want to grow up to be using Siri only with Siri. This is going to be a generational thing. I want this to be how people interact with computers in the future. This is how we're going to make our money. This is our livelihood. This is how Elon Musk is over there developing. I think to my computer and my brain scan, and it's working back and forth. Apple's like, okay, that's too far away. How can we make more money on this now to train our users? Let's do it with voice. Let's push this as much. I think we're more on that end of the spectrum. Yes, I think some of it can be used to help train Siri on that part of it, but like, I think they have a longer term goal in mind.
I'm not
here.
sure, because if they really wanted that, then they'd open up Siri to the other OSs, but they don't.
No, what have you what?
They would if they really wanted to get like to have value in the search results of Siri and have value in what Siri provides. They would open Siri up to other platforms, because they're not all of the like they have a massive number of people.
Have you been watching anything Apple's done last?
Oh no, I know that they listen. I know that they would never do that. Like
they're going to become the one world government. It is their plain goal. There's no other competitors.
Yeah,
they're not going to work.
What I'm saying is, I think that they're trying to develop Siri as a text simply because if they really wanted Siri to like become Skynet, they just would open it, and then like they would need to do that. Otherwise, like 50% of the pop would just never use their fucking product because they just don't have an iPhone or any Apple device. So, I mean, they could be going. I think the reality right now is that Siri is vastly far behind Google Assistant. Like I think that's, and I think it's so far behind that they're willing to pay you $5 a month to use Siri. Like I think that's what it is. I think that they're like, listen, like we really need some data here.
So let's
yeah.
Not quite open source this bitch, but let's half price this bitch. And there we go.
Yeah. I think so. And it's, you got to remember too, like, because this is their kind of ingenious way. Like, I'm sure that when they pitched it to like the record industry, they were like, listen, we want to do a Pandora. Okay. They wanted to do something that is basically radio, because that's how Pandora works, right? Pandora is radio only. You can't play songs. But they were like, but that just isn't our thing. Okay? We don't like to do, we want to make sure that we have access to all these other cool things that we've done. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make it impossible to browse. So like you either have to know the song you want, or you just have to ask Siri to play you some shit. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this version is Pandora. But if you know exactly what you want to listen to, then it's Apple Music. Right? Because like I'll browse Spotify and then pick a track. But this is not that. And you can't build playlists. There's no playlist building, I don't think.
Yet. What I'm saying.
No. There's no playlist building.
Come on. They have to be like, add this. It says
they're
right here.
very
Look,
clear.
it says right here. No, look, it's on screen.
There's zero interaction with
It says
Apple
songs,
Music.
playlist stations. On the graphic.
Yeah, but other people's existing. But how are you supposed to make a playlist?
Add song to playlist. Name playlist. What? Siri, add the song to my gym playlist.
So wait, you're gonna go?
What?
You're going to by
am
voice?
Am I so spoiled with Google
Siri
that
one by one?
Yeah.
To add track by track.
I think so, because like.
What if it adds the wrong track? How do you remove a track?
Remove this spot. Am I
what
too
if got
spoiled?
It wrong?
Siri, undo. Siri, remove this track from my gym playlist.
Does it know how to do
remove
that?
This from my library. Am I just so spoiled by Google being useful that Siri is this
What if you mean to add a song, but you accidentally add an album, and the only way to remove the songs is to know the names of the tracks? So you have the by one.
And Siri's probably not intelligent enough to be like, remove everything from artist Kanye West from my gym playlist. It just will be like,
maybe.
What? I can't find song Kanye West. And we'll be like, God damn it.
It's $4.99 because they're reimbursing you the therapy money that you're going to need. after you tried to build a playlist using Siri.
Oh God. Mayhem goes Siri, add Beatles Discovery. Oh, imagine the playlist. Fuck. Okay.
That's good.
Okay. In realistic,
It's very
I was
interesting,
okay.
though.
I had a hot take. I was intentionally having a hot take on this. In
No,
realistic life, it's probably more like you're saying.
if they're
And
trying
I
to
wasn't.
bring more value to the product and like try
Yeah.
to make it selling, I can see that, but I think that it's the more immediate thing is that Siri sucks, and they need to fix that.
Yes.
And I think that it may suck so bad, and they have so like people will use it for extremely specific contexts. I think it sucks so bad that they're having trouble training it. And if that's the case, then they need this shit. Like they need people to basically like sign up to be experiment, like to be rats in a lab.
Fine.
That's what I think.
I still
Siri
think
sucks.
Apple's going to try to use this 5 head and slightly influence people the ways and like help people, not just help Siri.
That goes against their entire narrative otherwise. Like they already do that with their design choices, but like their entire narrative is like a privacy focused thing. They even scrapped the
yes,
other
but like
stuff
here's the thing: like if you make the perfect product and it's perfectly user,
I guess
if it's ready and like no icon, like no human is going to click on the icon, like they have the perfect thing. Say Siri is awesome. Nobody's using it. How do they get people to click on the icon? Give them half price. Just click on that icon instead of this icon, and it only costs you half. They want to get people using that way of communicating with a computer. No, it's not the icon. It's about like bringing up the application is you not hitting the button. It's you using your voice to interact with the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. They're trying to move people. That's okay. I'll get off my soapbox.
No, but that's basically just like, that's Google Assistant. Google Assistant can do all that. And
yes,
very well.
But Google didn't have to pull people into using Google Assistant because it was good enough that people.
No, yeah, because Google recognizes value, and very, very, very importantly, Google was much further down the evil track, as we discussed earlier.
Before they let.
So they farmed the living fuck out of your conversations and data.
And then they're like, "Oh, guys, okay,
and
we're done."
they trained it without your consent because I mean,
like, okay, we're done,
why
guys.
Not? So fucking, Apple's a bitch for not just violating your goddamn privacy, and now they have to pay for it. Well, now they're gonna pay you for it. That's how it's gonna work.
So what we learned
I don't know,
guys,
like, I don't know how much
be the
Google,
first one to do the evil.
I'm pretty sure Google has trained Google Assistant on more than they were supposed to. I'm almost positive.
Oh, we have stories of that, yes.
That's conjecture.
Science.
Oh,
we have stories. There's evidence. It's went to court of law. I remember this. It actually happened.
Oh, if that's the case, like, yeah, nobody's surprised.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not.
Okay.
At all.
Time for the big one. You ready?
Okay.
Actually, I should let you take this away, okay?
AirPods first, right? Yeah, so they're new AirPods at $179. What were the old ones? How much were the old ones?
See.
Do you know how much the other ones were?
AirPods, second generation. Buy these. Buy. Looks like these are currently $130. I don't know how long.
Yeah, but that's discounted for sure.
Let's go. Here, talk about the earbuds, second AirPods, and I'll go look up the price graph of this.
Yeah. So I mean, AirPods are just like the new ones are gonna be AirPods Pros, but with no noise cancellation and no rubberized tips, which is nice. I actually really preferred the Gen 2. I liked that when I put them in, like, you just get a. I use my AirPods in voice like transparency mode like 99% of the time, because I just like to be able to hear everything around me, and the AirPods like were really good because they just naturally did that. like didn't they didn't seal the ear canal, so you could still hear stuff around you, and I like that feature. If I like, but I did not like how fucking huge they were. Like they were just massive, um, like super long stem. It was like really annoying. So I would actually pick these over the pros, to be honest.
Okay, it looks like there was a price drop.
Yeah. So what was it before that?
And so this is actually going off of this is going off of not Apple's website. This
Yeah,
is like
Amazon probably.
Amazon and other prices along that line. Right now, that price is 120, which is 10. Apple's doing
Yeah.
it. Before that was July. Let's see, April, July. It was 130. Apple's
Okay,
doing
so
now.
they jacked the
then-
price $40.
Beginning of April of last year to July of last year, it were 140, and then June of last year they were 160.
Okay, so they launched about the same price then.
Right, and they slowly
That makes
just bring them
sense.
down as
That's
inventory depleted. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you're cool, like if you're cool with the length of the stems and shit, like I would just buy a pair of AirPods. But
going to
yeah.
Samsung device.
Oh no, even Galaxy Buds for sure.
Yeah,
Take
There's-
their haphazard attempt at being Apple.
wait, what? Haphazard? What? What's wrong?
It's a haphazard approach.
How so? Have you used these?
Yeah, well, the
You-
software is not as good, and a lot of their hardware is not as good. They do a lot of stuff better, but like, I don't know. They listen. They just can't commit. They haven't. The thing is that Apple has committed to controlling your life. Okay, but Samsung there's still a little bit of Android there. They haven't gone full bore. They haven't really told you that you can only use their own app store. Okay, they haven't told you that you just can't install whatever apps you want. They're just pussyfooting around. They're just a little
There's
bit
too much
open.
choice. Okay.
There's too much choice. So they've tried. They've got like all these peripherals and they like kind of sync.
Oh, they sync it
But, like-
awesomely. What the?
Dude, I had a Galaxy Watch, man. They did not. I mean, now it's Wear OS, so they gave up on that. So maybe.
I don't know how long ago this was, but so in the last year I've had a pair of the Pros, Galaxy Buds Pros, and
Yeah.
dude, I watched them compared to like people that are next to me that use the Apple version of it. They connect faster. They fucking work. Like the sound isolation is just better. Like I don't know. Like
Are these
it's-
regular AirPods or Pros? 'Cause
Those are
the
Pros.
the Pros are ridiculous. They're really good. But is that like Pros with an Android or Pros?
No, those are
with
Pros
Apple
with an
device?
iPhone. So the whole
Really?
thing's iPhone. Yeah. But
I mean, if it's faster, it's faster. I won't argue with that. But like for me, it's instant. Like I open the case and they're just paired before they even touch my head.
right.
So like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know like what the experience was there. But yeah, no, like Samsung makes good shit. I'm just riffing on the fact that like, I have a little bit of a hate boner after the ads in my Samsung
Yeah, I
Health
get- I
app.
get that.
Okay, but listen, like they do make good shit. But there's a lot of stuff that they don't do. I don't know. When I had their watch, like they didn't do context. Like with the watch, they didn't do like context awareness very well. Like, and that's kind of the really sick thing about the Apple Watch. And the only really good thing about it is that like if I'm listening to something on my phone and I put my phone in my pocket, I'm doing something with my phone. When I look at my wrist, right? My watch is reflecting whatever the last thing I did was.
Mhm.
So I kind of pick up from there, which is nice. The Samsung watch was a piece of shit. Like I had the Galaxy Watch 3.
The old ones were
Terrible. It was horrible. But now they're on Wear OS. So I don't know. Like now it's a completely different thing. So now it's like how well are they integrating with Android and how well like is it doing the same thing? Like I don't know. I've never had a Wear OS device and I'd have to try it out. So I can't talk shit about it now and I don't really know. But yeah. I don't know. Samsung's
So-
okay.
But yeah, Apple's okay too.
Yeah, like every one of
So-
them has something. If
Yeah,
they
that'd be
didn't,
great.
we'd all use their products.
Right.
Like
If there
Right?
if there was a domination, we'd. Oh wait, Microsoft. I can't make that Microsoft
for sure.
joke
like
anymore.
I
They
mean,
don't
just
have
look
a-
at
they
look at
don't
what a
make good
fucking
hardware.
con look at what a con the AirPods Max is. Like That's
so we
some
have
straight,
$550 for AirPods Max.
bro. That
And
is a $550 status symbol. That is what that is.
this is like
Okay, that is a con. That's
this
a
is like that
con.
shit that they're going to go out to like famous actors and people that are like celebrities and pay them to wear these things.
Bro,
a little
celebs
bit.
will pay for it
But, like,
themselves.
I do
Pay them?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, they don't have to pay them to do
They'll
this.
pay for it, and then
I
they'll
was
pay to
thinking-
get it gold encrusted. Are you fucking kidding
I was
me
actually
right now?
thinking. Yeah, no, you're right because it's Apple. I was
Yeah,
thinking
of
of
course.
what's the Beats line that used to do this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like-
yeah,
I feel like it's the same.
yeah.
It's the same
Well,
level
I
of
mean-
status symbols. What I'm trying to say. Sorry, not that
Yeah,
Apple has to
yeah,
pay anybody to do their shit. That wasn't what I was meaning.
Oh yeah,
One
Beats
thing that's-
One was basically like if I took a tin can and took another like a piece of string, like that was an equivalent. Yeah,
That's a year's worth of food for you, Sal. How can you afford?
it's getting out of hand slowly.
Okay. That's being spicy. Okay, so one
Why are
thing
you
that I
bully
thought-
so hard? Fuck me. This is insane.
The one
Ugh.
thing that I do like, finally, that the third generation AirPods and AirPods Pro have is they still don't have battery life compared to. I'm not trying to shill Samsung stuff.
No,
seriously
they
here,
do
but,
have
like,
way better battery life. True.
their battery life is just god awful. Like even
Yeah.
if you take all the sound cancellation off and stuff, it's just like, oh my, like seriously. So at least what they have now is wireless charging, which is like awesome.
Wait, who is this? Apple?
Apple does.
They've had that for 3 gens. They've had that since Gen 2.
That's been in the Gen 2.
Yeah, even the
Why
Gen
doesn't
2,
it say-
they did a revision of the Gen 2, and that had wireless charging, and then all the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah. The Gen 2 has a case that has wireless charging. Like,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Because like we've had wireless charging for. There's a reason I take my phone and I can take my phone and then my pods case and literally touch them and it charges the ear like
Yeah,
it-
reverse wireless
wireless-
charging is sick. Listen, Samsung doesn't need. You don't need to flex
We've had
Samsung.
this-
I understand.
I want.
They have a folding phone.
I want Apple to be better.
They have
I
a
want the-
folding phone. They are way ahead.
on.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
They don't have a notch. Where's the notch? I don't see a notch. You see a notch? They have a punch. Right? They got like 8 cameras on their fucking phones. 8. Okay? I can do like a 3D array and shit. Like we don't need to talk about all the ways Samsung's better. Like you can take pictures of the rocks on the moon, okay? With their 100 times zoom. Okay? Like, yes,
Okay, I'm done.
Samsung is definitely winning in some ways, okay?
I just want my Apple brother to finally have fast charging. Okay, like.
And
Okay.
me
Okay.
too, my guy. Like, you are not fucking alone,
Dude,
you know?
it's
I will
actually
say,
impacting
though,
my life
that
when my
MagSafe
friends.
is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
This is something
and the
Microsoft
MagSafe
got right.
batteries-
I want to shout out Microsoft here for having laptops and tablets a while back that had fast.
No, the
snap
MagSafe on the back
charge
of the phone is dope. Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when events start up, when I can like travel and shit, I'm gonna buy one of those MagSafe battery packs that can like double as a portable charger, but also you can have it like it clamps to the back of the phone too.
Yep, those are
So
sick.
effectively, like, yeah, it's super fucking sick. It's actually like MagSafe is very nice. It is not better than fast charging. I would trade it in a heartbeat, but it is very sick. Yeah,
Jeremy in
fast
chat
charging is
goes-
awesome.
Jeremy in chat goes, Apple doesn't have fast charging? ? I'm like, okay, well, it's relative.
20
'cause-
watt?
Yeah,
20
because like
watt? Hold on.
when I see people upgrade
What?
from
Hold
6
on.
to 13,
20 watt,
and it like
and you
changes
need
their
to
life,
buy the brick for it separately.
it doesn't come with the phone. So the thing that made your piece of technology awesome, they don't ship you the hardware to fully enjoy your own. It's like, here's a car, wheels sold separately. You could
So
go
they-
someplace on the rims,
I'm
but
pretty
like
sure.
it's life changing if you put tires on.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that the phone that came before this phone, or before the iPhone 12, that had a charger, did not do 20 watt charging. So literally no brick in your fucking house that comes from Apple will have fast charging. You have to buy the 20 watt charger separately in its own box. Like, and they're like, we're in the environment. Now you need 2 boxes. Oh my fucking God.
Or in the case of my experience of life, have a friend who has one of these devices accidentally take the USB part of their cord and plug it into one of my devices. And they're like, holy shit, my phone's charging fast.
Yeah.
Because it like auto adapts to whatever they have. And I'm like, oh my God, like. and so also relative, fast charging is relative. Just because some people have phones that charge.
OnePlus is like 100 watt?
Just because even Samsungs have 100-watt charging, and also like there's a whole plethora of Androids that have. Okay. I feel like I'm doing Apple. Wrong. I'm sorry. I actually do like Apple. Let's talk about some good shit Apple did. Okay.
Okay, sure. Let's talk about how Apple won the laptop market today.
They've revolutionized it, not just for today. They've won it for like the next 3 or 4 years. Like they're fucking owning this shit right now. So, you want to take this one away? I've talked a lot recently. Go ahead. What do you want to start with
so
this?
Apple was just like demonstrating once again that their company is so big that they have like multiple teams, and that not all teams agree, and that making things worse isn't always better. And so that they did was they were like, yeah, so you see that M1 that we made that like just shits on everything from our competitors? Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna supercharge that. We're gonna make some M1s with 2 more cores, and then like quadruple the number of GPU cores. Oh yeah, and we'll bring back HDMI because that was sick, and the SD card because that was dope. Here's Thunderbolt 4 because I was like, oh, did we mention that the battery life remains unchanged? Yeah, because that's pretty sick. How about bigger displays? Got those. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they just, I haven't seen benchmarks yet. So like, actually, I was talking to Morn, the guy who makes my music, and he wants to buy one of these, and I was like, listen, like, I would wait for the benchmarks, but I have a suspicion that there is literally no laptop on the planet that is going to outperform these. These are going to be fucking crazy. And they were already crazy before. Like, there was like, when you would compare the M1, like even the MacBook Air, to anything in its own price category against it, there were a lot of laptops that wouldn't even finish benchmarks that the M1 was destroying on battery. Like, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that the M1 MacBook Air was doing that with no fan on battery with a 24-hour battery life. My brain explodes. So like, and they keep the efficiency with these new chips. It's just that now the upward power limit is like what they can do has gone up. They have liquid XDR displays, and having seen those, because my sister has a 13-inch iPad, they're fucking insane. Like the micro LEDs, like are really, really crazy. Really, really sick. The local dimming zones are really dope. Another thing that kind of Apple leads the charge on is displays. Like their displays and their upper end shit is like really, really, really bananas. I know that like stuff like what was it? What's the production software for music? It starts with an A. I'm not Audible.
Audacity?
Nope. It's professional. I'm thinking like
the Audition?
Nope.
Adobe Audition? Ableton?
No. Ableton. Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
I know that's got an M1 version, dude. M1 most professional creative apps have an M1 version now, so they're not being converted anymore. And I mean,
even if they were converted, like, fine.
The thing is, it's like if you're a professional, like, is it working 100% of the time, or is it gonna crash when you need it not to crash? Like, is there cloud saves? Like, are you gonna lose work? These are things you don't want to be thinking about if you do this shit if you do shit for a living with it, right? Like, that's why whenever somebody asks me, should I buy one of these? I'm like, okay, what's your workflow? Like, are you using Google Drive all day, Google Docs all day? Because like, then yeah, this thing is gonna just basically do what you're doing, but you won't charge it all week. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Screens, of course, are still fabulously awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's making the best screen with them. Like, even when there was a point in time, I don't know if it's still true, but like for their phones, they were like, who makes the best screen? Oh, Samsung makes this. Okay, well, we'll buy them from Samsung, put them in the Apple phone. Yeah. Like,
Well,
fantastic.
Samsung
Like,
makes the best screens because they make
yeah.
Apple's screens. like, like, they're not making their own fucking.
Yeah,
They're not
no.
making their own shit. But like, yeah, these guys are really they the admission that the HDMI port needs to come back is big. Like, this is not the same Apple that wanted to make everything thinner and then would just make it worse to make it thinner. Like, I think those days are done for them. Because these laptops, I think, are thicker than the last ones. Like, they're not fucking about. Like, they
if they
know who
were
these laptops are
if
for.
they were thinner, they would have been shoving it in our face. Like, but
No,
they're
no,
not.
yeah. They don't, they're not,
So
these are built for work.
yeah, they are, and I'm completely
Yeah.
fine with them being a little thicker. For this, I'm actually kind of considering this for at some point if my workflow ever does this fits ever in my workflow. This is something I'm like, okay, I'll learn the software again and
Yeah.
get used to this.
So
just because
I will say though, if anyone is considering buying one of these, because like I won't, because nothing I do for, I like my laptop is essentially a iPad like 11-inch, right?
Mhm.
I get like my very casual stuff done on that, and that's fine. But anything that needs to be done for real, like I have PCs to do that. If you're going to buy this, do not cheap out on the RAM. You cannot upgrade it, and you will not upgrade it because it's baked into the chip. So, and like this is one of those things where, as much as I hate, like I understand what they're doing and the way that they're getting performance is by baking everything into the chip, and repairability comes with that. I understand that. So like when you buy this computer, you will be using it until it is e-waste because you will not be upgrading it. So if you're going to buy one, and think about 4 years from now. Don't just think about now, because you're not going to be able to do anything with it like in the future. It will be as good as it gets. So if you have like, if you're like, I don't want to spend the extra $400, like upgrade the RAM, okay? Like,
I think I'd surprise you with this thought that I had about. I think when I was thinking about this last night before I went to bed, I was like, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow. I'm gonna think about it while I go to sleep because I process stuff in my dreams and I have thoughts about it, right? So I went to sleep thinking about it, and I was like, Sal's probably gonna be shocked at this. I've gone on a great big long rants about like Rossmann in New York and repairability and all this stuff, right? But you know my stance on this. This is the first time in history that I think we're starting to be like, you know what? Baking everything into a single chip and throwing the entire thing away and having it be that way might actually kind of make sense for the first time in like ever history, because we have shared GPU RAM with our system RAM. Everything's together. It's one great big thing. Like the whole system is designed to work this way. The shared RAM is gigantic. The shared processing cores, how the M1 chip works on a fundamental level. Like this is the first time that I've been like, okay, well this is where it's starting to make sense, and
it's why it's so
I
fast.
can understand it. It's
right?
not like it's one of the reasons it's so fast. It's not the only
reason that it's so fast and so efficient is because all the silicon is so close.
Yeah,
I obviously have the reduced instruction set, but beyond that. Right, it's not. They knew what they were doing. It saves a lot of power, for sure.
Right, and for the vast majority of people that are never going to upgrade the completely repairable or an upgradable Windows laptop that they have, there's thousands of laptops that die every year.
Apparently, one guy did upgrade the RAM.
Like,
did you see that?
I did not yet.
Apparently, it's its own own unit, and one guy managed to open it up and swap it out. But I don't know.
Even
how
if it's
easy
not,
that is.
I'm still saying it's completely fine.
Well, I mean, you can still have in my opinion, you can still have like a Frameworks laptop type thing. It's just that the whole main board, which is the SoC, you just have to upgrade that, and the rest of the entire chassis can still be used.
Right.
Right, because if you look at what Frameworks is doing, it's the same thing. The only difference here is that the RAM is just an entity that would be baked into the board. But the CPU and the mobile, they still have to go with one another. They're determined by one another. You can't just, unless Intel's being generous god, you're so stuck upgrading. So I see no difference. I see a difference if you want to swap RAM or whatever, but like if you're looking at something like what FrameWorks did, where you can replace like literally everything on the board, the Wi-Fi chip can still be changed, like the battery can still be replaced, like all these things, you could still have that, but the central processing unit could be the thing you have to upgrade every 4 years. Like, I don't see why you can't have that, but I do understand that there's trade-offs when it comes to making the silicon. I mean, eventually, you won't be thinking. I imagine that eventually, at least in Apple's perspective, like they'll just sell an M, like everyone will get the M3, like M3, no RAM choice. Like it'll all just be there because they'll just bake it in together and that's it. They'll
Here's your
determine
price point. Do you want it? Yes or no? There's your option. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, but like, you don't ask what part of the CPU you want. Like, if they feel that the RAM needs to go in with that, then that is what it is.
I feel like that's approaching.
I don't know. Yeah, well, if you run out of RAM, the reason that the M1 MacBook Air never runs into problems is that because if you run out of RAM, it immediately moves a chunk of your regular memory into swap space. And because it's baked in, it's so fast.
Because it performs just because it's an M.2 chip in general.
Yeah, yes, and it's also close in silicon.
Yeah,
like it's so fast that you don't even notice. It just loads the apps out, like the apps that you're not using, out into that, and keeps the ones that you are using, and it swaps them back and forth. Like it's not. That's how they got around that. They have very, 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 very fast memory, almost like not all like close to RAM, but not quite that fast.
Right.
Like eventually they may just have it that's fast enough that they just have one gigantic swap space. That's it.
All your data's here. It doesn't need to go into RAM anymore. This has been like before this came out. Like this was a talking point that I was discussing with somebody like 8 months ago, where we're getting to the point where SSDs are so fast.
Yeah, PCIe 4 SSDs are like fucking ridiculous.
You don't actually kind of need RAM if you like engineer this correctly and like it kind of works. Like we're almost to that point. Enough. Like we're to the point where I live in a spot where there's Google Fiber. There's 2 gigabytes download. Do you know that most people can't write that much to their, if they download a Twitch VOD, they can't write that much to their hard drives fast enough to keep up with your download speed. Like there's a certain level of living in the future where having RAM and having a hard drive are just going to be the same thing. And you know what?
Yeah,
it's going to be a fast
future. I have
future.
No problem with that. And I don't think it runs counter to right to repair. Like, I don't think it runs counter to that movement. I think that there's many other things that break in a computer. The screen, the fucking keyboard,
right?
The ports.
Apple shuts down all of them. Not that any of it's good.
Yeah,
but
there's so much more, right? That they can close off. That doesn't need to be closed off. Right? Like just the RAM, the RAM is the only thing that you kind of lose here, and it's not really like. I mean, what is RAM? $100? It's not that valuable compared
Speaking
to
of things that they brought back. I wanted to mention. You mentioned the HDMI thing. Joey and I were laughing about this. Guys, we have an improved keyboard. We gave you the physical buttons back that we took away and touched for that bar.
Yeah, they got the touch bar.
Yeah,
they're like, failed idea. Nobody uses it.
So your keyboard has backlighting now, so we no longer need. Gamers have been having backlit keyboards for how long now? Like, this is not that.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough on that. Well,
did you see the notch?
That's
I
was just about to, dude.
Oh,
so
that's
the screen
hot.
resolution
Show me that
and
notch, baby.
Screen resolution
my God.
and notch.
It wasn't enough that the phone has it.
No, we have to.
But now
put it into the computer.
Okay. Do you know why they did it? I do.
So they're trying to shrink this physical hardware, and they want to have this resolution. When Mac doesn't do the right 16 by 9 resolutions, they have 16 by 10. Then they they're trying to fit that into a piece of hardware, and so actually we on one of them we lose some pixels, on the other one we gain some pixels. Not quite like the correct resolutions here, but they're fitting it, and it's like, hey, our UI design, because we're Mac and we get to dictate all of our UI design, we always have a bar up top, so we can just squeeze it in there, right?
Yeah. In this particular case, Apple 100% did the right thing. I've thought a lot about it, And
I'm way more okay with this than a fucking notch on my phone.
that space is actually useless if they make it a giant black bar. If you're watching content, that content will not be this aspect ratio. It will be, it'll be like 16 by 9 or 16 by 10. This is 4 by 3, I'm pretty sure. This is tall. I'm quite certain, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. It's like it's a new thing that like Microsoft started. Everyone's pushing for like really tall displays. It's the 14.2 inch one, right? It's 3 by 2.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really tall. So in that top bar, it's always the menu. And if it's content, right? Then it's gonna be, you're gonna see black bars, you're not gonna see it. But if it's like a document, then you still have the menu bar up there anyway. You don't lose the space at all.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. Like, they just pushed the menu into the notch, and then they were like, hey, look, we gained some pixels back. So, kudos to them for figuring out how to put a notch in there and make me think it's a decent idea.
So the aspect ratio is 1.54 for this. Yeah.
I don't know how that my brain can't, like,
because it's
I'm
slightly, never mind. It's just slightly off. Slightly. Everybody's wallpapers and stuff is going to be fine. People are just never going to notice. But, like, it's, I see, this was the thing I, like, wasn't, because we're on the air, and I was like, I'm going to be wrong. And unless I look it up specifically, I Googled it. It's like the actual aspect ratio of this is slightly, just a little bit. Fine. These are still going to be gorgeous screens. We're going to, I guess, get used to the, I think people get used to this notch way faster than the phones, because like of a ratio and entirely of how much a percentage that takes up of your usable space up there, compared to on the phone it taking up like a lot of space. Like this is a very small amount total of your entire real estate. Like you don't live without it. Versus on the phone, and you're losing icons and like losing data.
With the phone, it gets in the way of content, and people see it, and they're like, "This stupid notch." But like in this, it doesn't, and it won't.
Now, here's the thing Joey was talking about. He's like, there's going to be people that are manufacturers that make Windows laptops, and they're going to try to copy this idea. And then people like me who use the taskbar at the top are going to be like, I'm never buying a laptop that has that for Windows up top, because like it's going to go right in my taskbar, and like, it would just piss me off. But for Mac,
Windows
whatever.
laptop manufacturers are more likely to do other shit. Like Microsoft might do some crazy shit, but they're more likely to do what they did with like the Surface. Nah, they're not. Everyone else has moved beyond the notch. Like the notch is a dead Mac dream.
Meanwhile, Apple's like, can we make the notch bigger?
Yeah. How can I get more notch?
I don't have enough notch. God damn it.
Yeah, I would. I mean, they shrunk it a bit this time. Actually, they didn't really. They made it a little bit taller, shrink? But they made it narrower. So it's like, looks like less notch, but if you do the math, it's actually more notch.
Yay.
I mean, to be fair, Face ID is very good.
Yeah.
And I think it's vastly more secure than any of the other face recognition ones. And I prefer it to in-display fingerprint reader, like having had in-display fingerprint reader.
Did the in-display not work correctly, or?
No, I just being able to open the phone without having to do anything is nice.
Yes, but why don't you have?
I'm just saying, like, it's just a nice feature. It's not like a must-have,
This is the part where I smile and nod.
But it's nice. Is
it?
Is it worth the notch? I mean,
here's the thing. Okay, I can't. Mine has a punch out, guys. It has a punch out, and it still does face unlock.
Yeah, but it's not as secure.
It also has fingerprint sensor here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's secure. But the reason that Face ID is good is because it does the infrared dot thing. So it's actually taking like a full on map of your face. Like
Yeah.
your face is like a key. It's not just taking a picture being like, yeah, it looks pretty close.
That's why I don't really trust them much in general. Like,
yeah, I trust Face
that,
ID.
Yeah, I probably would, but
Right. Yeah.
I'm old school.
I trust,
so my
I
pin
trust
is
in-display fingerprint readers too.
my pin on my phone
those.
is 6 characters, not 4 characters. Like there's a level of like, I go like a little bit extra because you can have an Android that's very, very loose. Pretty wise.
Oh, you can just open the phone. Yeah, you can have one with no password, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Like, anything else on this MacBook?
No.
Joey bought one.
I don't think so. I think we hit everything.
And tell us. Joey bought one. My roommate bought one, so he might come out as a guest in a couple weeks.
I want to know how he feels.
Yeah, we can get his 2 cents on this.
Yeah, that's exciting, man, because those things can like edit in 8K.
Yeah.
Like the M1 MacBook Air could. That is fucked. Like, I don't know, man.
It's gonna be a fun time watching people take these and run away with them and like do fancy shit.
Yeah, I look forward to the benchmarks.
As a human that can take all of my biases and memes about Apple and put them aside, when I look at humans evolving their technology, this is a fantastic step Apple did. Good job.
I still like that they shamelessly benchmarked against themselves.
Yeah, so
like
it's gonna. I kind of wanted some of the benchmarks to be out, but by now, I knew they wouldn't be. But it's like,
they did,
well, the next day or two, we'll actually have real, not Apple's,
dude.
Yeah, fuck Apple's.
Their random like
real.
banana graphs had like some references to other processors, so that was nice. But it was like
the
still...
i7 and i9 in gray, like.
It's such a bad.
Which
like,
i7 is that, by the way? Which i7?
I don't know. They don't. I don't know
because they didn't say.
My question is like. You clearly are going to have the best product.
Yeah.
Why would you... This is the shit that people pull when it's not. Like, why wouldn't you just be bragging about it? Like, look at how much better we are than everything that the best that our competition has to bring to the table. No, they're like, look at this random, like, Celeron
great
processor.
Thing. 13% blue bar. Big number. Can we get it to 14%?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at how our graph is in color and their graph is in gray.
Yeah.
Like,
that's highlighting the accents of okay. Okay. I think that's all I got on the Mac stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week. I got no closers to watch.
We still Ravi's our only patron, right?
I believe so, unless he canceled on us.
Fucking guy.
Thank you, Ravi. Appreciate you. Yes, we still have one
Patreon.
We haven't driven him away yet, so appreciate it.
Nice.
Talk about XLR. Okay, fine.
Oh,
so we're gonna have in 2 months we'll have $18. So he's been giving it 1 month. So I'll take that money, put it together,
so
add
you'll
some, buy some XLR, and then come test it. And I'll try to have that in like a week or two. And we'll talk about it. I'll experiment more with my DAC with it. We'll see.
Nice.
See if it helps.
I accept to give my half of Ravi's patron money to the XLR to Ethernet fund.
This fund is short-lived, but we shall see what we do with it, and then we'll take the rest and something else with it later.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.